Please join me in welcoming Maria Diaz to the stage.
George, thank you for that great introduction. I thought between Bob Harvey and George, I could just come up here and say, are there any questions? And we could move along quickly. But let me fill in some of the details. And let me start by saying good afternoon, everyone. Mayor Turner, council members, distinguished guests, and everyone here who understands the importance of the Houston airport system and its direct relationship to the growth and sustainability of our city and the greater regional economy. Thank you for joining us. I would also like to extend a welcome to the many representatives we have here today from our airlines, our service partners, and the numerous governmental agencies with whom we partner on a regular basis. Welcome to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Welcome to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation Security Administration. None of our airports could function without the hard work and dedication that is routinely shown by the men and women working at these vital agencies. Our first core value is relationships. We build strength our relationships with our passengers and stakeholders alike. We like to say we succeed with our partners because of the strength of our relationships. I would also like to take a moment to thank the 1,300 employees that make up the Houston airport system. I believe that the list of accomplishments you're going to hear over the next few minutes represent a remarkable success story. And it's a story that would not be possible without the hard work and dedication of the entire Houston Airport System team. So to my coworkers, I say thank you and congratulations. The Houston Airport System is stronger today than it has ever been. That statement holds true regardless of what metric one wishes to employ. Passenger traffic is higher than ever, whether international or domestic. Investment in infrastructure is at an all-time high. Our financial position is the best it has ever been, and the level of global connectivity that's available to our citizens is unprecedented. And when I say unprecedented, I'm not just talking about the nation. I'm not only talking about the major continental markets around the globe. I'm talking about unprecedented in the fact that Houston is now one of a handful of select cities connected to every one of the 6 inhabited regions of our world. For the 3rd consecutive year, we welcomed a string of new international carriers to the Houston market. We brought international air service back to Hobby after a hiatus of almost 50 years, and we have completed the planning at Ellington to position the airport as the premier spaceport in the nation. We have made important strides to customer service. We have taken pain to return our assets to opening day fresh condition. We are well on our way to building the platforms for future success, and we have strengthened the airport system's financial position, all proof that the strategies we have followed and the products and services we have offered have been embraced by the passengers who we consider our primary customers. We are making a difference in our communities as well with our Aviation Club for high school students, the Houston Construction Education Collaborative to teach new skills to the unemployed, the beautification of our airports and the promotion of our events, whether Wings Over Houston or the 9/11 Hero Road Race. Now at this point, I would normally head off into specifics on each airport, and that would mean beginning with George Bush Intercontinental Airport. But if we're going to look back over the events of 2015, it's impossible to skip over Hobby. The biggest headline for the year was written on October 15th as Hobby Airport welcomed the return of international air service and established its role in the Houston airport system as the regional international airport of the Americas. A new 5-gate concourse and federal inspection facility was opened that day, clearing the path for nonstop flights to various destinations to Mexico, Central America, the Caribbean, and the northern rim of South America. Houston residents now have nonstop access to 4 destinations in Mexico, 2 destinations in Costa Rica, and 1 each to Jamaica, Aruba, and Belize directly from Hobby. And that is only the beginning. Later this year, Southwest expects to broaden its offerings from Hobby to cover more destinations to the region. The new facility not only expands the capacity and capabilities found at Hobby, but it also dramatically improves the overall customer experience. Consider, it starts with an open, spacious lobby that permits unobstructed views to the airfield and is adorned by artwork commissioned from Houston artists. It continues with an expanded security checkpoint that has brought down dramatically the wait times for passengers to get through the security clearance process and has allowed us to meet our metric to clear 90% of our passengers within 10 minutes. Outside, passengers enjoy a new bi-level roadway, providing expanded access to the terminal entrance. More than 90% of the passengers at Hobby Airport now check in for their flights in a brand new ticketing lobby. And when you enter U.S. Customs after an international flight, you will have access to dozens of self-serve kiosks designed to expedite the entire arrivals process. And again, I can't thank enough our U.S. Customs and Border Protection partners, both locally and in Washington, for all their efforts to make this facility a grand success. Thank you. Just outside the concourse, passengers enjoy a new 3,000-space multi-level parking garage that's attached to the concourse by an air-conditioned elevator connector. To enhance customer experience, we installed a real-time space locator system in the facility, along with wider lanes that are more convenient for entering and exiting. The space locator system is being extended to the existing garage to make uniform the ease of finding a parking space. But we didn't stop there. We partnered with the local community to completely reprogram the airport's front door. We began with the replacement of security fencing with a high-grade architectural screen. We then landscaped the entire breadth of Airport Boulevard from Telephone Road to Monroe Boulevard. As we did at Intercontinental, we replaced the roadway signs leading to Hobby and installed an entrance monument and an exit jumbotron welcoming visitors to our city. And we replaced the street lighting to make it all brighter and more attractive. These improvements are absolutely vital to the future success of Houston. First, you cannot overstate the importance of strong connectivity between Houston and Latin America, both from a cultural as well as an economic standpoint. More than 6.5 million people traveled between Houston and Latin America last year alone. That's twice the number of people that flew to Europe, and 3 times the number of passengers that flew between Houston and Canada. We have more connectivity with Mexico and Central America than any other airport in the nation, and this project helps us build on that important strength. The expansion is important too because it's a powerful example of how the airport system can serve the Houston economy and the residents at the same time. The economic study we commissioned estimates that more than 10,000 jobs will be created in the local economy as a result of international air service coming to Hobby, and the economic impact is projected to be more than $1.5 billion. These types of projects not only improve the travel experience for our passengers, they also improve the economic vitality of the entire region. 2015 was the 6th consecutive year that Hobby Airport set an all-time record for total passengers, and it also marked the first time in any year that the facility surpassed the 12 million passenger level. Over the course of the past decade, passenger totals at Hobby have increased by more than 50%, while the number of destinations available by nonstop flights has almost doubled from about 30 cities to almost 60. Now, the record-setting growth is shared with George Bush Intercontinental, Houston's premier flagship airport. Like Hobby, Intercontinental Airport hit an all-time passenger count in 2015, reaching 43 million passengers for the first time ever. Domestic travel also grew for a second straight year. But the real news continued to be made in the area of international travel, where Houston sets the pace within a very competitive industry. Of the 43 million passengers transiting Intercontinental Airport in 2015, a quarter, more than 10 million people were on board international flights. That number is impressive enough, but it's even more impressive when you consider the percentage increase that it represents over the past decade. Since 2005, international travel in Houston has increased by 53%, moving from 6.9 million passengers to almost 10.6 million this year. These numbers have strengthened some pretty compelling arguments to airline executives from around the world and has translated into a wave of new nonstop service for Houston passengers. In the spring of last year, Volaris arrived with nonstop flights to Guadalajara, Mexico. Then Vacation Express established seasonal service to the Grand Bahamas. In the summer, we welcomed All Nippon Airways to Houston with a nonstop flight to Tokyo, followed by EVA Air, which held an amazing launch celebration, bringing here their Hello Kitty aircraft for their nonstop flight to Taipei, Taiwan. We really had a great time with them last year. Those two last airlines, along with the recent arrival of Air China Korean, have had a tremendous impact in expanding the level of connectivity between Houston and Asia, increasing seat capacity by 300% over what was in place just a few short years ago. Later in the year, we celebrated the arrival of WestJet and their nonstop service to Calgary, Canada. And just before the end of the year, we welcomed Air New Zealand's inaugural flight to Auckland. Now, this nonstop was exciting in its own right, but it also provided Houston with a very important global distinction. The city of Houston is now the only city in the Western Hemisphere with nonstop service to all 6 inhabited continental regions. Only 4 other cities in the world can lay claim to that level of connectivity. Abu Dhabi and Dubai, both in the United Arab Emirates, Doha in Qatar, and Johannesburg in South Africa. That's how much progress we have made in connecting the people, business, cultures, and economies of the world to Houston. Now, in addition to these new arrivals, we've also seen expanded service from existing carriers like Spirit Airlines. Spirit had been incredibly aggressive, growing their domestic route map since first arriving in Houston just a few years ago. But in 2015, they began international operations at Bush Intercontinental Airport, connecting Houston to 7 different destinations found throughout Latin America and the Caribbean. As always, our partners at United Airlines continue to find ways to invest in the Houston market. In launching nonstop flights to the Virgin Islands and the Caicos, Turks and Caicos, but most recently, United filed with the Department of Transportation to provide direct service between Houston and Havana, Cuba. This connectivity is strongly supported by the city. And will be welcomed by all citizens in the region. To be sure, the partnership we have with United Airlines is no longer limited to flights. It has evolved into something more exciting and much more impactful. Houston Airports and United Airlines are now collaborating on the reconstruction of the entire north side of the terminal complex at Intercontinental Airport. We have seen the positive results of their collaboration in the new B-South terminal. And as we speak, United is moving forward with the construction of a new Terminal C North concourse. The new structure will accommodate all sizes of aircraft for United, but is absolutely vital to the future growth of Intercontinental Airport for another reason. You see, it clears the path for the Houston Airport system to completely remove the existing Terminal D and replace it with a new, entirely new, Mickey Leland International Terminal. This project remains extremely complicated, but it is now at least feasible. The new terminal will eventually stand as the global portal that appropriately reflects Houston's standing as a key nexus in the global business network, while at the same time home to the nation's most diverse population. This new terminal itself will be more than 50% larger than the existing Terminal D, and all 15 of its gates will be capable of handling wide-body aircraft. In fact, 4 of those gates will be able to handle the jumbo aircraft Airbus A380. Inside, customers will find a strong sense of place, immediately connecting them to Houston experience. Now let's focus our attention at Ellington. When NASA shifted its strategic direction in 2010, there was understandably a great deal of concern felt across the city. But along with that concern came a unique opportunity, a chance for Houston to play a major role in the transformation and privatization of this exciting industry, an opportunity for Houston to play a leading role in the government's pivot from a government-led to a commercially driven suborbital and low-orbit space industry. Houston Spaceport at Ellington Airport is our answer to the changing landscape that is witnessing the merger of aviation and aerospace industries. Not only will it allow Houston the chance to maintain and enhance its status as Space City USA, but it will also open up new business opportunities, create jobs, and enhance city revenues in one of the most promising fields for the 21st century. It will be a true economic generator and driver of the Houston economy. The key components necessary to thrive in this industry were already in place. Houston is a logistics center. That is its strength. It has a dynamic and diverse economy, a well-educated workforce, a strong transportation network, a wealth of aerospace engineers, and some of the best universities and higher education institutions in this nation. On June 30th, of last year, Houston secured its place in aerospace when the Houston Airport System received a license from the Federal Aviation Administration to open and operate the 10th licensed commercial spaceport. To put it another way, Houston Spaceport is no longer a concept. It is a hard reality. 5 years ago, we began with marketing the concept of a spaceport to guide the development of Ellington. We partnered with Rice University to create and sponsor a space lecture series that continues to this day. Then we began the planning with the strategic intent to create a cluster of aviation and aerospace companies in Houston so that just as today, one thinks about Silicon Valley, when one thinks about computers and applications programming, in the future, when one thinks about space, one will think about Houston. In November, we capped the year with the first ever SpaceCom conference that attracted over 3,000 attendees and secured Houston's role as a source of knowledge, information, and innovation in this budding industry. Over the last year, we completed the Airport Master Plan and the first phase of planning for the area on the southwest airport boundary where Houston Spaceport will be centered. The plan identifies the location for safe fueling, the launch as well as landing of these new space vehicles that in the near future will distinguish Houston in this field and allow Houston to continue setting the pace for the advancement of human spaceflight. Phase 1 of the master plan will feature over 800,000 square feet of office, design, light assembly, warehouse, distribution, and commercial space. It will be bordered on the north by a series of high bay hangars where aircraft and spacecraft alike can be assembled, maintained, repaired, or overhauled. The airport system partnered with the Boeing Corporation to purchase a 53,000 square foot building, which Boeing had outgrown with the shift in NASA direction. That building will now be used as a spaceport support center, offering startup and established companies access to high quality space in which to build concept prototypes and perform low volume assembly operations. Later this spring, we anticipate coming to council with a series of leases for this facility with companies we have attracted to Houston. We have also partnered with NASA to allow spaceport employees to receive much of their required training at the NASA Johnson Space Center. The Space Act Agreement is a 5-year deal that officially clears the way for NASA team members to provide spaceport employees with safety training, engineering capabilities, operation support, and other services. And at some point, that training could involve the accommodation of resupply missions for the International Space Station. Sierra Nevada Space Systems had already signed a letter of intent with the Houston Airport System, indicating their goal of working towards the establishment of landing operations at Houston Spaceport. That was always terrific news because their vehicle, which is called the Dream Chaser, was always a promising spacecraft worthy of consideration by NASA. But the news took on even more weight a couple of months ago when Sierra Nevada was selected by NASA to take part in multiple resupply missions to the International Space Station beginning in 2019. Needless to say, this would be a huge step forward for the newly created Houston Spaceport. In the meantime, we'll be moving forward with the final step of our plan, and I would say this: let everyone in the industry know that the Houston Spaceport is open for business and that we plan to compete aggressively in this sector. Thank you. No sooner did we announce the completion of Phase 1 planning when the airport system was honored to receive the Houston Business Journal's Deal of the Year Award. Houston Spaceport went up against some of the largest economic ventures that the city had to offer. It not only came away with the economic development deal of the year, but the overall deal of the year as well. Make no mistake about it. Houston Spaceport is moving forward, and it's moving forward in dramatic fashion. But as we reach for the stars, we can never, ever, ever forget that it is the attention to passenger details that makes the difference between a memorable travel experience and a difficult one. As we build new facilities and welcome new airlines, we constantly must remind ourselves that the purpose behind all our efforts is to enhance the overall experience enjoyed by the 55 million passengers to adequately reflect Houston's status as a vibrant, friendly, and diverse global gateway city. Last year, that meant completely reevaluating the concessions program at both commercial airports and initiating a new concessions program. The results are already being noticed. New shops and restaurants are opening at a scheduled pace at intercontinental hobby airports to the absolute delight of our passengers. Toward the end of the year, Host Properties and Resorts completed a multi-million-dollar renovation program that improved virtually every facet of Marriott Hotel. At the same time, American Express commenced renovation of space in Terminal D for its premium service Centurion Lounge that will soon be opening. One of the really exciting passenger service innovation programs last year was the incredibly popular performing arts program called Harmony in the Air. Passengers at both airports now enjoy live music that ranges from the elegance of a string quartet to the passionate sounds of a jazz saxophone or a flamenco guitar. The response to this program has been nothing short of amazing, and we look forward to expanding its range and reach in the near future. On the technology side, we have dramatically expanded the number of self-serve kiosks that are available to assist passengers in making their way through the U.S. Customs declaration process. Houston Airport now features the second fastest Wi-Fi signal found at any airport in the United States, a signal that is absolutely free of charge, by the way, and we're on the verge of unveiling a completely new website that focuses solely on the customer experience and effectively guiding the passenger through their individual journey. We're working hard to enhance our standing as a good neighbor as well at all three of our airports. Early last year, we celebrated the plans to open the first ever Houston Airport's Construction Education Collaborative to train Houston residents in the construction skills needed to build platforms for the future success, while at the same time giving the unemployed the skills to enjoy better lives. This effort calls for a 40,000 square foot facility located at Intercontinental Airport that offers a mix of classrooms, laboratory, and office space. The idea is to enhance the skill set of construction workers who are involved with Houston Airport-related projects. This not only provides us with a more qualified workforce, it also saves us money to lower insurance premiums by building a safer work environment. This collaborative was created in partnership with key institutions of higher learning, such as Houston Community College, the Lone Star College System, and San Jacinto College. Thank you all for that. Now, we are particularly proud of the airport system's accomplishment in minority and women business participation in concessions, in construction projects, and professional service agreements during 2015. The Houston Airport System was named Diversity Champion of the Year by the Office of Business Opportunity, and the Houston Black Chamber of Commerce recognized the airport system by naming it winner of the coveted Pinnacle Award. The airport system had to achieve some pretty impressive numbers to earn that level of recognition. Indeed, we did. On concessions participation, we achieved 39%. On construction contracts, 28%. And on professional services contract, 35%. The airport system has been and will continue to be committed to diversity in the work and the opportunities it generates for all Houstonians. In closing, I would say we have enjoyed just an incredible tailwind over the past 6 years. I believe we have taken advantage of every opportunity to position all three airports in the system to weather the economic clouds we have entered. We do expect to encounter some headwinds and turbulence as a result of the energy sector stall, and we will work with our airline partners all to make adjustments as necessary. Again, we are guided by energy sector analysts who assure us the conditions in Houston and around the world are temporal, not structural. This is a cyclical event Houstonians are well familiar with. So we will think strategically and take advantage this year of the opportunity to consolidate and complete some of the important projects we have commenced to permit a smooth acceleration forward as soon as we transit this period. This year, we will focus our efforts on rebuilding the terminal and roadway facilities in Intercontinental. We will shift gears at Ellington to accelerate the development of our spaceport. We will complete development and implementation of internal systems that track and monitor our asset performance. We will develop passenger satisfaction tools that help us to respond more quickly to the concerns of our passengers with the facilities and the services we offer. We will take the time to further train our managers in the practice of management as we strive to achieve a high-performance organization. Regardless of the external factors, we remain optimistic about the future of our city and the airport system. We are committed to the mission to connect the people, business, cultures, and economies of the world to Houston, and we will speed ahead to arrive at our vision to become a 5-star global air service gateway where the magic of flight is celebrated. We anticipate achieving many, many more successes under the leadership of Mayor Turner. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. May you have a wonderful afternoon.